And Are You Okay is a not safe for work podcast, so any young listeners are discouraged from continuing. However, we literally have no way to track that, so do whatever the hell you want and enjoy the show.
Time ago.
In a galaxy?
In a galaxy.
Dude, this could be happening right now. A million miles away. In a galaxy far, far away.
Whoa.
How you doing today, Siebes?
I just found out that this happened in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago.
It could be happening right now.
I know. It's kind of fun.
Well, that's what the trailer says.
This is in New Hope, Pennsylvania, this entire movie.
Doesn't
that blow your mind?
A little bit.
Yeah. I've never been there, so I have no idea.
Me either.
It's all sandy and desert-like.
Yeah. There's the blue milk there is the common beverage.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, you're listening to Annie, Are You Okay? A Star Wars podcast. I am joined with the Panda Baba to my Dr. Evazon, Siebes.
You're getting more creative with these.
I am.
They're getting deeper. They're deeper cuts.
They have to be.
Yeah.
I am Mikey. Socials, Siebes with 7 E's.
7 E's.
At
just like
Mike the Illest on Twitter for me.
There you go. You have glasses now, Mike, too. So
oh, yeah. I am now blind in my right eye, and you can see perfectly because you got LASIK.
I know. How the turns have tabled.
Our listeners don't care.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
We're not here for what we look like, guy.
No, full disclosure, we had some technical difficulties with our mics, and we got some upgrades.
Yeah, they were shitty.
And due to the technical difficulties, we fixed our scheduling conflict with our first guest. We're joined with another member of the Cantina.
Oh.
Old Ben Kenobi.
Old Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like old Ben Kenobi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if he means old Ben Kenobi.
Cool. Perfect.
That guy.
He doesn't look like he enjoys this very much.
Scott Grande. We're going to call you Papa for this brief stint here on the podcast. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. As our first esteemed guest of the Annie, Are You Okay series, I noticed that you brought some toys on set with you.
Sure did.
We're set like we're not in your kitchen.
We'll set them up in a picture and post them on Instagram.
We're actually going to act it out.
Yeah, he literally acted out the entire movie.
Yeah, we didn't even watch it this time around.
I was uncomfortable. And the basement door did lock, so we couldn't even get out. So it was the worst part. So,
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Gross. Love it.
He made me kiss the Kenner Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, that part I did. I kind of liked that part. That was cool.
Watching me do it, or you doing it yourself?
You didn't have to include that last bit.
Oh.
And we would have been fine. But Mike, we're all wrapped up with the prequel trilogy.
That's right. And you know what we forgot to do in the last episode? Rank Revenge of the Sith.
We did not rank Revenge of the Sith. That's not good.
So
that's why we're here.
Just that. Yep. And then we're just gonna end the episode. Sorry, it was a quick guest spot, but
yeah.
So
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So
when you're done.
Revenge of the Sith, I think I was pretty obvious about it being my favorite film.
No, I don't think so.
I give it 5 dead younglings out of 5.
5 dead younglings.
Yeah.
Sure.
Master.
We gotta make that a soundbite.
Oh, for sure. If you don't pull it for this episode, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
We'll cut that one. I think I said the same thing in our New Hope V1 that we had to end up leaving on the cutting room floor, but I can't give any movie a 5 just because that's like reserved for all-time great movies. But this is definitely like a 4.5.
The cap off to the prequels, yeah.
Anakin's.
Oh, charred Anakin's. I like that ranking system.
I forget what I said last time was better, but charred Anakin's. Yeah, I think the title of the last episode was Fallen Jedi Medium Rare.
Yeah.
So some time has passed, Mike. We are on to the, I guess you could say the next generation, but really the original generation.
Correct.
Of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
1977.
19 years.
We were not alive.
After Revenge of the Sith.
Everyone at this table.
No, that's not true.
No.
We got someone who was alive. Tell us about it. What was it like hearing about this movie
back then?
Well, you're talking 1977, so you're 1 year after the bicentennial. Jaws came out in 76 and was the first big summer blockbuster. And then all of a sudden, they start talking about this Star Wars. And we rewatched the original horrible trailer that is just dreadful.
It was one of the worst trailers.
Oh, it was. How anyone went to the movie after seeing that trailer.
Inconsequential shots of like C-3PO, like, oh, did
gave away
why would I want to see this?
Gave away vital plot moments.
I shit on current trailers for doing that, but that trailer gave you the entire movie.
Yeah, it was terrible. Horrible.
It was so bad.
Farm boy Luke Skywalker goes to save beautiful Princess Leia. It was awful.
Have to put that out on social this week because I didn't even know that existed until you showed that to me last
Yeah,
week.
There's so much good stuff on Disney Plus.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all the extras.
Do we have to pay if we say Disney Plus?
Oh, nope, we just have to use the sound where it goes.
We call it the network.
The network. Here. So anyway,
he said
maybe
it.
They'll pay us.
He said.
He already said it.
He said it. Anyways. Go ahead.
So 9 years old and managed to convince my mother to take me to a movie. Now, growing up in South Philly, the movies came out uptown.
Okay.
They didn't come downtown forever. And got to go see Star Wars. Knew it was a science fiction movie.
Oof.
And
it's probably a huge South Philly Italian turnout for that.
Oh, big.
Hey, fucking Jedi.
Hey. Forget about it.
Was they building the Death Star?
All this fucking sand. But it's like being down the shore. So anyway, went to see it and literally mind blown. Right? It was like nothing you'd ever seen before. Opens up with a crawl. So your first thought is, I got to read all this.
It's a lot of reading. And you're 9.
A lot of reading.
You're 9. You're like,
and most importantly, when I saw it, the crawl just said Star Wars, A New Hope. There was no episode 4 shit because there wasn't anything. It was Star Wars. There was nothing else.
Oh my God.
I've never seen a cut like that.
Yep.
Wow.
And then,
not even on Laserdisc.
Well, they fucking changed so many times. It's impossible to get the original anything.
Yeah, because it wasn't until Empire
that.
Came out that then it was like episode 5, and you're like, wait a second, what? How did we get to episode 5? This is the second movie. So the crawl went by, and then all of a sudden the Tantive comes flying on screen, getting shot at, and then the giant metal slice of pizza comes across the screen and literally fills the entire screen. And from there, I was hooked.
Now, that opening scene, I think, is by far the best. If you break down the 3 trilogies, take them as 3 movies, that's the best opening scene of any of the trilogies.
And it holds up 40.
By far. It sets the scene immediately. You know exactly.
You understand the stakes. The rebels are small. The Empire is big. Mm-hmm. He illustrates it so well in that shot.
Yep.
And like,
you don't have some dumbass droid like, would Master like some tea?
Yeah.
For the fucking negotiations.
Right, exactly.
That never take place.
Instead of poison gas, they just got a lot of other gas with a bunch of laser bolts coming out everywhere.
Real quick before we dive into the happenings and goings on of the movie. One of my favorite things that I just noticed on this rewatch for the first time, and I think this is because it was on the network. You play the movie. It doesn't have like ratings because it's Disney Plus, but it does have a little warning.
Wait a second. Tell me it is.
And it
contains tobacco depictions.
Contains tobacco.
I wrote that down too. It contains tobacco because I remember when Vader sat back with a cigar after torturing Leia and being like,
I know the exact shot. It's alien smoking a hookah in the cantina.
Wow.
But it's like that's the only.
Well, no, Ben lights up a pipe. Doesn't Obi-Wan light up a pipe in
old Gandalf Kenobi?
I could swear he lights up a pipe in his place with Luke. No,
there's a lot of other weird stuff going on.
Yeah, he's like, this is your father's dildo. But he would have wanted you to have it.
We'll get there at your eye when we get there.
Oh, sorry. I jumped ahead. I didn't mean
to. Real quick, very glad that Rogue One, we're going to do a Rogue One episode later, but very glad that Rogue One came out years later to fill in some just massive holes in this movie. The shaft that just led directly to the fucking reactor of the Death Star. Crazy. Not necessarily a whole, but how the rebels acquired these plans in the first place. Rogue One.
It fills the gaps. Yeah, it tells the whole story.
It's
yeah.
the opening paragraph.
Yeah.
Of the crawl is literally that.
It's Rogue One's great. It adds so much context to this movie, but without that even being there, like.
It is a very good movie, and we're gonna start. Yeah, we're gonna start the breakdown and analysis. We're gonna start going through the plot here.
We got the Empire busting in
Oh yeah,
on the Rebel ship.
full stop.
One
dude.
thing that I love is the Rebel uniforms are fucking just like utility vests. Their only armor is the dumb like shovel helmets that they have.
Yeah, they look like half an egg.
Yeah.
And the stormtrooper
Vests.
armor is not doesn't do anything worth
seriously,
a damn. But
actually, the troopers are one laser shot to a stormtrooper, he's down. One laser shot to the guy wearing the jumpsuit.
Why do they
he's
have
down.
armar?
it's aesthetically pleasing.
It looks really cool. We bought the action figure.
Yeah, you can't see. It's heavy.
And,
It
there's
deflects
the
nothing.
sharpest marksman in the galaxy. I've
True.
heard
Yes,
from this movie.
unless you're shooting back.
So there's a bunch of shit going on right away. Darth Vader shows up.
Well, before Darth Vader shows up, the biggest thing happens.
Oh, I was gonna get to that. But
Now, before that,
okay.
C-3PO's got a silver fucking leg.
Yeah,
Let's touch
I don't
on
like
that.
to talk about him.
Nobody,
I try not to.
Nobody makes a big deal about the silver leg, but when The Force Awakens, when he shows up with a red arm, everyone got their panties in
the
a bunch.
internet exists now, Mike.
Oh,
The internet's crazy.
that actually makes a ton of sense.
He says something about it in the movie. Like,
Nope.
In
Does he
The
not?
Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
About
you
his
may
red
not have
arm.
noticed me because
Yeah.
of my red arm.
But,
It's
but he's got a silver leg in the opening scene with R2.
Didn't even see that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Does that change? Does it switch?
No,
to
I think
gold?
it's silver the whole time.
Oh, that would be wild. All right, well, we've uncracked the code.
There you go.
Yeah, we're done.
Now we know.
Good.
Now we know why this movie's so good
Well,
because of his silver leg.
Silver leg.
Fuck, I'm gonna go get a silver
Every
leg.
movie has a silver
I can
leg.
put on right now. Jesus. So Vader's on the ship to recover stolen plans.
Of the Death Star.
Plans.
Yeah.
He's just fucking choking people out left and right.
Yeah, he doesn't even use the Force choke on the first guy. He holds him up with
He
one
uses
arm.
his bare hands.
He's just like, come here, you motherfucker.
Tarantino style. He uses his bare hands. He's just choking people. Princess Leia, we learn, is on the ship. Her importance kind of becomes more, known throughout as the movie advances.
Yeah.
But we see her diddling R2-D2.
Right. That poor droid.
That poor guy. Right before she sends young R2 not young R2, and her companion, fucking shitty C-3PO off to deliver this message that she has. Secret message.
A secret message.
Right after that, Empire comes in and fucks shit up. The droids escape.
Right. Right out the escape pod.
Right out the escape pod.
They don't fire lasers because it doesn't have any life forms
It
aboard.
doesn't have any life forms on it.
Which doesn't make sense to me, but
Yeah,
okay.
That's why.
Yeah, one random shot and it just comes up with
you
directed
think-
by George Lucas.
Yeah.
Do you think it was
done.
Do you think it was like a budget? They're like the Empire's on a budget. Like we could
Don't waste
fucking-
lasers.
We could shoot that escape pod, but like,
I think they make that joke in the Family Guy.
Don't waste light. Don't waste that light.
I don't do the budgetary. Or
Well, I don't know. This is the only reason I can think. Like, I can't imagine lasers are
expensive. Yeah.
So,
Well,
whatever.
they make it out alive. They go down to, what planet did they land on?
There's only 3 planets, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Entire universe.
So they land on Tatooine, I'm assuming.
Tatooine. How many suns are on Tatooine?
There's 2 suns over there. I don't know what they do over
Well, if
there.
there's a bright center to the galaxy, this is the planet that it's farthest from. That is where they land.
You'd pull a quote
Yes,
right out of the
before.
movie.
It's a good guess.
He's seen it.
He's actually seen it.
3 times in the theater, man.
We just saw it reenacted with action figures. This guy knows what he's talking
I
about.
know. He did the whole movie. We've been here for 3 hours. It's insane. So the droids basically, at this point, are the main action. They have this message that they need to deliver to unknown person.
Right. At this point, we do not know.
And then, just real quick, this makes me laugh every time when the stormtroopers actually show up on Tatooine and they're scouring the fields. The one guy just picks up a ring.
In the
Like,
sand.
Look, sir.
It's one of my notes. Droids.
It's just like
They could have come off the escape pod.
You're in
Yeah.
you're in space.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Shit could be anything. And his commander's like, "Yeah,
That's
all right,
Let's look for them.
They're here.
well done,
And
trooper."
they found that ring with all the damn CGI that got added in that scene that was never there before.
Yeah, there's a lot of animals.
27 dewbacks, 500 stormtroopers, and droids.
Sir, surprise! He's got it looks like a fucking like mason jar lid.
That's probably what it is.
The amazing thing is that they survived it all because 3PO goes from being shiny and new looking on the ship. They crash, and R2 must intentionally crash this thing because he hates 3PO.
He fucking hates it.
And 3PO is now dented. He walks 50 yards from the pod. He's got oil dripping out of his chest. Like, he's a hot mess.
Yeah.
And
I love how they get into like a little fight as if they shouldn't just both be going in the same direction.
Exactly.
And R2 goes one way, and 3PO storms off being an idiot.
I'm going to go my way.
And then he, let me go flag down the sandcrawler.
Yeah, jackass. So they both, they end up in the same place because they get picked up.
It's almost like it was written that way.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
They wind up in the sandcrawler, which is every toy that was made inside
that was a blatant like Toys R Us commercial. And you do have all of them, it looks like, over there.
He was in there?
That guy was pretty ugly. For those of you that can't see, he literally, Scott has all of the toys. So I'm going to let him set those up for the next 4 hours while we...
He's going to reenact the movie again. Don't let him do... No, put it away. I was like, he was 3 seconds away from a pew pew, and I can't do it again. We just sat through the whole movie.
It's like we've just seen it again. So they stop at a random moisture farm in the deserts of Tatooine. And
could it be the Lars homestead?
His name was Lars, I think. Yep, yeah, that's him. He's got not so young, still pretty young, Luke Skywalker. That's his ward.
Yeah, and he says his best line in the film. 19 years.
19 years.
Yeah.
Yep, 19
that
years.
blows my mind because Obi-Wan's old as shit. I feel so. Darth Vader at this point is like 40.
Well, if you think about it, Obi-Wan's been living on Tatooine, and there's 2 sons there, so...
And he probably doesn't moisturize, even though there's a moisture farm right nearby.
What a jacket. So yes, Darth Vader is like 40 years old.
Vader's like 46 at this point, I think.
He's 23 at the end of the Clone Wars, so
he's
19 years.
He's 41.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's about 52.
Yep.
Okay. Those guys look like shit, respectively.
Well, one got burnt by lava, and the other one
fair. I mean, that
has no
fair.
sunscreen. So.
Yeah. He looks like he lives a hermit life, but whatever. Neither here nor there.
We haven't even gotten there yet. We're right at Luke's best line, though. I was going to go to Tashi Station to get some power converters.
That's when we're first introduced to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hero of this movie.
Oh.
And there's the mistake that we talked about, that George Lucas decided to cut.
Oh, yeah. There's
deleted
scenes.
There's deleted
God,
scenes.
I'm learning so much.
There's deleted scenes that Mark Hamill wished wasn't cut, and it's the whole opening segment of Luke sees the battle between the Imperial ship and the Tantive through his binoculars. Then he runs to Anchorhead, and he talks to Biggs, and what's-her-face calls him Wormy, and it's all this, but he has a whole 4 or 5 minute scene with Biggs that actually gives you the depth of their friendship. So then you might actually give a shit when he dies at the end of the movie.
Whoa, spoilers.
Spoiler alert, sorry.
Not that it matters, because you literally get introduced to Biggs.
None of that happens, and we are introduced to Farm Boy Luke.
Yeah, whiny Farm Boy
Luke.
Side note, one of my old coworkers, this isn't that interesting, but I've always thought this is funny. She is from this area.
Tunisia?
No.
Tatooine?
New Hope?
She's from the Pennsylvania area, and she sounds exactly like us, but she, for some reason, grew up with a British accent only when she says Mark Hamill, when she's talking about the family. This is really weird. That's like when Ben Simmons says basketball. It's super weird. If you've never heard that, check it out.
Or when Princess Leia
talks to Mark Hamill.
Yeah, fair. Farm Boy Luke sucks. He's immediately whining. You're like, oh, fuck this guy.
Can we just talk about... I have a note written down here.
Yeah, rip it, man.
In a previous episode, I think I said, Luke doesn't show up until 45 minutes into the first movie.
Yeah.
I paused. It's 17 minutes and 2 seconds into the film.
Minutes, man. So
and you're I was way off. But my concept of time as a child must have been... I must have been so bored with 3PO and R2.
They were 3PO was my favorite character, man.
But if they hadn't cut that scene, Luke would have been in
Yeah, maybe like 36 minutes instead of 17.
No, if they hadn't cut that earlier scene.
Oh, wait,
that
you're
takes
right.
place during the battle.
Man,
Damn it.
that would have been
So
cool.
you would have seen him soon.
So,
Then he'd whine.
without that scene, we have no foundation for Luke's character. As we know, he was the baby that was delivered to Owen and Beru at the close of Revenge of the Sith. So Luke is a lost teenager. He's got his dream is to go to the
Imperial
Academy.
Academy so he can
So
defect
he
to
can
the
defect.
rebellion. Yeah.
Right on. I appreciate it.
Which is explained in that deleted scene.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
again, this seems important.
Right.
Thanks, George.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So he's basically stuck with his aunt and uncle being a moisture farmer, which sounds terrible.
I think Owen is abusive. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, if he doesn't get back and do his work, there'll be hell to pay. And then
Yeah.
he says something else about beating
Did
Luke.
you notice too when Beru was cooking that like celery in
the crock
in that
pot?
crock pot? He was like watching her. He's like pulling his sleeves up. He's like,
Oh,
"I
you don't want
swear
none of
to
this.
God."
And he was
Funny
like,
thing with that too is you've got, because of not having that scene, you got Luke's throwaway line. Biggs was right. Who the hell's Biggs? Like, give no frame of reference as to who a Biggs
That's a good
is.
point. I never thought of that.
And then the other one that I always love is Beru. Is like, he's got too much of his father in him. You mean the guy you met for 38 seconds who came back with a dead body 22 years ago?
Yeah.
You knew exactly how much Anakin
Yeah.
Skywalker was?
and that's when Owen rolls his sleeves up and he's like,
We don't
I'm
talk
tired of
about
this
that."
blue milk shit. I want the raspberry crystal light.
I'll tell you what for. What's in here? What?
Ain't even a certain point of view in that one.
Gets violent. It doesn't get violent at all. Sandcrawler rolls by. They're in the market for droids. Go figure. They agree to purchase a little red. I don't know what he is. He's an R4 unit.
R5D4.
R5.
R5D4.
As he's being presented in front of me in full detail right now. And our best friend C-3PO.
Yeah.
And
then R5 has a-
immediately explodes. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
he's-
a motivator.
Right, he's depressed.
Yeah,
So
he's not motivated.
He's not motivated to work.
I'm
Yeah.
convinced R2
Poor guy.
sabotaged him. Like, just as he's rolling out,
Yeah.
R2
Yeah,
got
R2's
the
a bit
little
of a
zap
bastard.
thing. It's like,
Right, and then 3PO gives like the most shining
Oh,
recommendation
this
to
is my
R2D2.
favorite.
He's like, I've worked with him before. He's great. And then like
throws him under the bus.
Yeah.
He's nothing but trouble, that one.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't carefully plan for that at all.
No, 3PO's a dick.
Yeah, 3PO does suck. Mike, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was one of my notes too. 3PO is just a fucking piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So, we got 2 new droids. We take them down to clean them off. You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
yeah.
It gets weird.
Nice
down
hot oil bath.
there. This is when,
Thank the maker.
yeah, that weird. The maker is the reason that everything's terrible.
The maker's actually flying around in that ship up
Yeah.
there in a black
Yeah.
suit. But beyond
The
that,
maker almost destroyed your ass a few minutes ago.
Mather.
If you don't know who that is, it's Darth Vader. If you don't know that, then
you didn't
Listen.
watch episodes 1 to 3.
listen to True Crime podcast, which this kind of is, I guess. It's not. They discover a message hidden deep inside young R2's anus. You want to talk about that message, Mike?
So deep inside R2's anus,
Right up, all the way.
a blue projection comes out,
Projection.
and it's just a turd. No, it's actually Princess Leia,
Gross.
and she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope."
She does say that.
And that's about it because
And
the
replays
transmission's
it
fucked
several
up.
times.
And Luke goes, she's beautiful.
Yeah. It's like, well, where did she go? Better get her back. It's terrible. Not as best.
That was really good. I like that Luke impression.
Thanks, man.
Then R2 does some subterfuge shit. Like, well, maybe if you take my restraining bolt off,
R2 is
I
the
can
man.
play the whole thing.
That conniving
Takes it
piece of
off and
shit.
Takes it off. Does he play the message?
No, he's
No.
like,
Fuck no.
what message?
He's like, yeah, all right, you guys are going to bed? Word, I'm going to...
R2's
Also
like,
go to bed.
no habla inglés.
He's like, I wonder if he meant old Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if it means old Ben. Like, yeah, okay. Fucking.
Doesn't put it together though,
Doesn't-
but
doesn't.
R2's like, I'm out this bitch. He took my restraining bolt off.
R2,
Fuck
the
him.
second he gets a chance, takes off. And I respect the shit out of him for that.
Mm-hmm.
To look for Obi-Wan Kenobi, who, as we know, has been exiled this entire time on Tatooine.
Yeah, watching over Luke from afar.
Yes. Luke goes out to look for the droids. They get into some shit. They get
Jacked.
They get jacked up by Tusken Raiders, who, again, continue to be incredible at sneaking up on people somehow. don't understand.
Well, they're the indigenous life form, so they know
single
everything.
file line,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
I'm just saying, man.
And they
You
go,
can't.
"Rah, rah."
They constantly. And you're telling me they sneak up on people? Ever.
Yeah, man. Sand.
I don't know. But
It's easy to be sneaky and sand.
so Luke gets fucked up, and then this is when old Ben rolls in,
yeah.
and
This
his
is great.
entrance is fucking amazing because
He just waves his arm. He looks like an wacky inflatable arm
Yeah,
guy.
cardio shit.
Yeah.
you just see
And it
this,
goes.
this robed figure.
Perfect.
Like,
He sounds like the lizard he rode in episode 3.
he does.
Oh yeah.
He does. See, he's already got it. This half of this shit is us just making sounds.
Sounds yeah.
But here's the
So-
deal. Here's the deal. So they're in the middle of the desert, the Jundland Wastes, and Ben just happened to be out for a stroll.
He probably knows. He's
But here's my fan theory.
oh.
R2's been deep cover the whole friggin' thing. He knows everything.
He's
He's
the
never had his
Manchurian candidate.
he's never had his memory erased. He knows everything.
That's so
He is
good.
well aware who Luke Skywalker is, and I am convinced after everybody went to bed, R2 contacted Kenobi and said, "I'm heading in this direction. I'm gonna try to find you. I got Anakin's kid will be probably coming along." Like, how does Ben find them in a canyon somewhere?
Which is funny because Ben doesn't even recognize.
I
him.
don't
I
seem
think-
to
but I think
remember
that's all-
owning a
but I think
droid.
that's all bull. I think that's all bull. I think
seem to remember owning.
because let me look for the video. Let me see if I can get that video to work. And he taps R2 on the head and it comes on. They are working together. R2
Shit.
did it.
R2 is the Manchurian candidate.
Straight up, man. He's
That's
orchestrating
awesome.
all of it.
That is the title of this episode.
R2-KGB.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty good.
R2-KGB, nice.
So, happy families all together. We go back. C-3PO gets his arm ripped off, which is our first limb count of this movie.
Oh yeah, that's one.
This is he falls.
Yeah, he fucking sucks so much.
Falls.
He's the worst.
And Luke should be dead. One shot with
Yeah.
that gaffy
Yeah,
stick.
I would think
He
his
ain't
head
just
would be
knocked
split
out.
open.
However,
He's got great hair, too.
Yeah.
He's not even bothered by it.
well, it was very easy because Ben did force healing on him.
No, it's not a thing yet.
That's a thing.
Not
He's
yet.
been learning
I don't think so.
it. Around.
Are you sure?
He grabs the back of Luke's arm, then he puts his fingers on Luke's temples.
I could have sworn you said he puts. I thought it was like he puts his.
Temples, not testicles.
Well,
Wake up, farm boy.
well, we're about to get to the hovel, so there's a little testicle feeling going on.
But he literally puts his, like, he does a little prayer while squeezing the top of
He
Luke's
does.
head.
That's right. He does do that.
And then
That's true.
suddenly Luke's okay. Who the hell checks vital signs by squeezing your freaking side of your head?
I don't know if you
There
can
was
have
some
any.
force-
Obi-Wan. He does it to Padme in episode 3.
I know. He's the worst. He's the
So-
worst paramedic.
And we know he's not healing him because Padme lost the will to live.
Lost the will to live. So
She's sad.
he died of sad.
Luke gets sad.
And Luke wasn't so sad there though that he could die, so he
So,
makes it out alive.
Gang's all here. We're going back to Obi's place to hang out. Watch this full message. We get the "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi." We get the full message basically. We know what the picture is, and him and old Ben are just hanging out, and they swap stories of Luke's father. Blah blah blah.
Before the dark times.
Before the dark
Three
times.
Before the
throws
Empire.
his bullshit line in there.
I'm going to sleep now.
No, even before that, like early on, 3PO's on the ship going, "Oh, there'll be no escape for the princess this time." Now he sees the princess. Oh, she was a person of some importance. Like, he is either the stupidest droid or he's so shady.
Yeah.
He
Either
tells
way.
no one anything.
Either way, fuck that guy.
Well, anyways, I'm glad he turns himself off. But
So
Yeah.
he did turn himself off, which is the best thing he's ever done. Obi-Wan, this is one of my favorite things that happens. They're just sitting there shooting the shit, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, that reminds me, I have something for you from your father. This is his super dangerous lightsaber. Didn't want me to give it to you because he didn't want you following damn Obi-Wan on some idealistic crusade." Then 2 minutes later, he's like, "Hey, you up for a
We're going
damn
on-
idealistic crusade?" Like, instantly.
Your father wanted you to have this when he was a smoldering briquette on the
Sorry.
beach.
They watch, or he does that before they watch the video, and then he's like, "Luke, you have to come with me on this mission."
if you want to save
Come with me to Alderaan.
yeah,
if
if you
you
want
want
to
to
save
save
the
the hot chick.
princess.
Yeah, the hot princess. Luke's like, oh, I got a family, I can't. He doesn't say it like that.
No, he's like,
Can't leave.
and they're on their way back, and they come across a sandcrawler.
Oh my god.
Totally destroyed. Blaster points, too accurate for sand people.
Too accurate. for
Too
people.
accurate.
Only for the most accurate of accurate.
Right.
Who can shoot at something that doesn't move and doesn't shoot back?
Exactly. So he goes.
Game hunters.
He's like, oh man, they tracked the Jawas down. That could lead them back home.
I do want to take a step back because I'm very disappointed. What is Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi's first line
I didn't even
in
say it.
this movie?
Hello there.
Oh, you didn't even say it at the top
No,
of the
I didn't
pod.
say it in the beginning.
You are the
Speaking of
worst.
things at the top of the pod,
And the original response.
what's the
Is?
original response? I'm lost right
Come
now.
here, my little friend.
Oh,
Don't be afraid.
he's just plugging his theory more and more.
Yeah.
I see what this has devolved
this guy's
into.
got an
R2-KGB, a Star Wars
Jesus.
podcast.
Calls him as a season.
I'm upset that I forgot that. I had that as a note. I didn't even say it. Hello there.
Oh, he's pulling out more toys.
Hello there.
Oh, he's got an extendable wiener. That's weird that they
blue
put that
wiener.
on a toy. I don't like that at all.
Well,
So,
the 70s were a wild
Aunt
time.
Beru
Right after the Summer of Love.
and Uncle Owen are dead as shit.
Yeah, burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Why they bring a flame trooper?
Yeah,
Like, that is a
that
little...
seems really excessive.
That's
just cruel.
Vader ordered
Vader,
that.
Vader was like,
Vader ordered
yeah,
that. He's like,
I
if you come
fucking
across someone
hate
named
sand.
Lars...
These people didn't help me save my mom.
Yeah,
Go.
that was really cruel.
Yeah.
So they're torched. He's got no reason to stay anymore.
And no remorse
And
of the people who raised him for 19 years.
He gets over it. He doesn't even think twice. He doesn't even
Nah.
cry.
Nope.
Nope.
It's terrible.
He's a
so
Skywalker.
like-
They have no feelings.
So he's like, yes, old man, who I've met maybe twice, once
For
before,
sure today.
maybe one other time. I will follow you across the universe.
Because you know who my daddy is.
And then Chris Hansen showed up in a speeder. I was like,
Take a seat.
You know what you're doing here?
Take a
He's
seat.
Like, of course I do. He's me. That's weird. That was a deep cut right there for our real fans. So it's time to ski-daddle. They need a ride.
To Moss Eisley, they got a
Yeah. They go to Mos Eisley.
more wretched... Blah, 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 blah. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Scum and villainy
And villainy. All in the same place.
in the same place.
Yes. Now it's CGI.
And
Yeah.
a shit ton of more
With-
CGI
With
that's
just
unnecessary.
so much shit going on when they roll in.
Yeah.
There's actually Michael Jackson's in the background doing a moonwalk. It's shocking. Crazy.
That's actually why the podcast is Annie, Are You Okay? Because of that
Yeah,
shot.
because of that song. That should be our thumbnail for this week.
And that's where you see Ben can mess with your mind.
Yeah. We do.
First Jedi mind trick.
So they get stopped by stormtroopers that are looking for the two droids they have a description of, I'm sure, that are in the back of their speeder.
It's actually Cody and Rex, but they didn't recognize him.
Yeah. So old Ben does his thing. He's like, oh, these are the droids you're looking for. It's like, these aren't the droids we're looking for. I've always wondered whether the mind trick affects just that person or everyone else. Because
The other ones are
everybody
looking
else
like,
is just like,
yes it is. Yes they
dude,
are.
I have the poster
Yeah.
right here.
These are the
It's
droids
clearly
we're
them.
looking for. Move along.
It's really all about. Move along. It was like,
It's like Men
dude,
in It's like Men in Black.
yeah.
It is kind of like Men in Black.
Yeah, I guess
Take
that's
him
true.
out to a nice steak dinner.
Yeah. So they're good, man. They go to maybe the least fun looking bar I've ever seen in my life.
The Moss Eisley Cantina.
Moss Eisley Cantina.
Where the
Which
The
the
use
rest
of
of the action
tobacco.
figures show up at.
Yeah.
Once the word in the
Every
sandcrawler.
toy that was in that movie for a second.
if he pulls out one more, I'm trashing him.
Oh,
Dude.
it's gonna happen. I know Ponda Bob is in there. I know he is. A lot of shit. Nothing really super important in the story at all
Nope.
happens. We do one thing. I like this bar. This bar is just like a biker bar, I guess. It's got no rules.
Yeah,
I like
no droids.
Yeah, no droids.
That's the only rule.
Get out of here.
Yeah, well, it's actually because that guy's family was killed by the Separatists.
Man,
They fleshed it out.
you had to make it real.
Yeah, man. And that's why he doesn't like droids in his bar. I don't blame him.
But then in The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah, in The Mandalorian, the bar's owned by droids.
Yep.
Shit.
How the turntables.
Yep.
I like the way Luke orders a drink is he just goes,
It grabs the guy.
he yanks the guy's shirt, He's like, and the guy gives him, like, no, you get thrown out of a bar for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, give me some fucking blue milk.
Listen, motherfucker. And that's probably what pisses...
I couldn't go to Tashi Station. You give me what I need.
He doesn't like
buddy,
you.
that's not how it's done here. He doesn't like you.
I don't like you either. I'm a wanted man.
I was just in Rogue One 8 minutes ago.
I have the death sentence on 12 systems.
Yeah,
I got off of that planet quick.
Yeah.
He got around. Is in the cantina that we find the best character of all time, Han Solo.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ponda Baba.
No.
Oh.
He does again.
What about all the Cantina band?
They're okay.
Oh, did you know the
They're one-hit wonder.
Cantina band plays jizz? That's the actual genre. In Star Wars the genre's jizz.
Oh.
Yeah, George has some issues.
Yeah, so he's not good at storytelling, but he does funny things like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Weird, but cool. That's fucking me up. I kind of am having trouble getting back on track.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised.
Well, first he runs into Chewbacca.
Yeah. Yes.
And they start talking about how Yoda lost that fight and ran away.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So, little Checkers came up.
Checkers,
They
exactly.
want to know what he ordered.
Mm-hmm.
So, Obi-Wan is securing passage to off the planet of Tatooine.
To Alderaan.
To Alderaan. This is where we meet Han Solo. He's super cool. He's got the fastest ship in the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's a giant. It doesn't look aerodynamic at all.
No.
He's very protective about his ship.
It's not flashy, but it's got to where it counts.
I don't know if that's a speed or a unit of distance or I don't know.
They retconned the crap out of that because George had no idea that a parsec is saying, I made it from here to Jersey in less than 20 miles. Like, that's not a thing.
All right, I'm glad we cleared that up because I always thought that was like a unit of distance.
It is a unit of distance. So
Yes.
Furlongs would have been a good one also.
Yep.
Cool. Good stuff.
They retconned that in Solo.
Yeah.
That's a gross oversight.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Makes for an exciting escape scene, though. So I won't complain.
Love it. That's pretty much what happens there. They requisition this smuggler pilot.
Yeah, Han is really happy to be getting some creds here.
17,000,
Mike?
Because
Why
he has
is
to.
he happy about that?
Because he has to pay off Jabba.
Jabba the crime lord?
Jabba the crime lord.
Nice. And what happens if you don't pay Jabba, Mike?
You get dead.
Oh shit! And who gets you dead?
Oh, Boba Fett.
Bounty hunters.
Yeah, the guy cloned from the guy who doesn't like the water. I fit it in somewhere. That's not in the original cut, but it's in the special edition, so you guys have to deal with it.
Bastard. This is when Greedo rolls in.
Oh shit, you're right.
Actually, before you jump to the Greedo, there's a cutaway, because there's always cutaways. It's Star Wars. It cuts back to the Death Star, and this is where you see Vader do his Force choke.
Oh,
that's true.
All
that
that's
was kind of
happening.
important. Yeah, actually, let's touch on that real quick because. So you do listen to the podcast. You know that at least once an episode, I do like to discuss how shitty the government system is in this universe. And what's the first thing we hear him talk about, Mike?
The Senate.
About the Senate.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, the Senate will never approve this. And then he rolls in and is like, nah, we took care of that.
Yep.
Yeah, the Senate is abolished.
Not exist anymore.
The regional governors will be handling it from here.
What have you been doing for 19 years? All of a sudden today.
Yeah.
Well, because the Death Star is operational.
Well, he had that paperwork he had to fill out.
That was when he was filling out.
If you listen to the last episode, you know that he had a lot of paperwork to.
3 papers on that table.
Yeah, 3 whole papers takes 19 years, dude.
And there's an
Crazy.
empty seat at that table.
There is.
That would have been Krennic.
In Rogue One.
Died the day before in Rogue One.
Oh. See, this movie, Rogue One's good.
Yeah.
Rogue One
fills all the holes. It's like, hey, you need a big cork to fill in this plot hole.
The Senate just is dissolved. So they don't, like you said, 19 years later, they just don't matter.
To give everyone context, how the Empire keeps control on all the planets, there are regional governors who answer directly to the Emperor. If the Emperor wants something done on that planet, the governor is the one who gets the order. However, the governor's kind of in free reign, so they can treat the people as shitty as they want.
Yes. Good stuff.
And the Moffs actually control whole sectors of space.
Right, yeah. So it's a small branch of delegation, but
there's a lot going on.
yeah.
So
And then
Shit's wild. And then Greedo rolls in, and Greedo's like, blah, 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 which means I'm the governor now.
No, he says, "Unta bunta solo."
Yeah, and his mouth is like,
Yeah, like,
it's like a little
kissy
anus.
noise.
Yeah,
I bet you have.
yeah,
Solo.
yeah, it's gross.
They have a nice little conversation about how Han Solo.
They do, and then
Should be
nothing
dead.
happens, and the scene ends.
No.
Stuff happens, and then stuff gets changed, and then Makungi happens.
Yeah. So I don't even. You're obviously gonna defend the other side. We know this. We talked about it before the
There's
podcast.
only one side, but continue.
Okay. Yeah.
The side from
Everyone talks
1977.
about Han shot first, and they think
Absolutely.
it's like this huge character thing. It's like, dude, so what if he shot Greedo first? He literally goes on the same exact character trajectory no matter how that scene plays out. It doesn't make him more badass. He just shoots a guy dead and then later becomes a softie. What more do you want? Does it matter if he shot first the same time or second?
Greedo doesn't even shoot because he's dead.
It is hard to shoot when you're dead, Mike.
I understand that, but it's like, I don't know why it's this huge
Studies.
argument between fans.
I think
Who
it's
cares?
I think it's a combo of that and then the blatantly terrible CGI
It was a
of
meme.
Greedo shooting Han at Han point blank and Han literally dodging a beam of light and his head moving and the wall getting hit by the laser.
It's the quickest reflexes in the galaxy.
Yeah. So,
I mean, the best part of that is Han walks out and just says, "Sorry for the mess."
Yeah, throws him
Guy.
some-
and Mosey,
Yeah.
he walks out real slow, like his back hurts. It's like, oh.
He's like, dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna put that in, but yeah, that was badass, man. Sorry for the mess. Wish I could do that.
And then they
Not
head
saying I
over.
wish I could commit murder openly in a public place, but I wish I could be that cool.
Oh, well,
You do too.
I think none of us will ever be as cool as Harrison Ford, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I think you're right, Mike. There's
So,
a lot.
off to Docking Bay 94, where the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon is.
There's they get ambushed, they escape.
Well, wait, there's another added scene that they had to throw in.
Oh, yeah.
Here's
3PO.
Jabba.
and-
God.
Oh, well, yeah, you're
Even
right.
Before that, you got Jabba.
Yeah, but we already touched on that.
No, but-
Boba Fett's there.
Yeah, exactly. But again, none of that was in the original 1977 cut. And the
Interesting.
original cut, that was actually a human actor playing Jabba.
Oh, God.
Which is why he walks behind him and they fake him stepping on Jabba's tail.
Yeah.
And he says, "You're a wonderful human being," because he was talking to a human.
Ew.
And they cut that whole scene out.
Gross.
Ho, ho, ho.
And then Jabba lets himself. Jabba has a really
Unbelievable.
bad 3 years, man, because by the time we see him again, he's put on like 900
not look
pounds.
good. He
He
does not
can't
look good.
move anymore.
What are they eating on Tatooine?
Frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those.
They gotta
frogs.
be extinct from all the eating. Though.
All the huts eating them.
I don't know, man.
I mean, he clearly doesn't care. He must have lots of them. He kicks one off at the beginning of the pod race in Phantom Menace. He's just like, pew.
They escape. There's really no need to go too much into it. I mean, they escape from blaster,
Yeah,
firefight.
there's
And they fly
one
directly
thing.
at the two ships when you've got the whole universe, and we've had this
They do?
conversation
They
a
do.
million times.
They do.
Yep.
Planets
Planet's round. We can go any direction we want. Let's fly directly at those two big Imperial ships.
We explained this in a previous
Hyperspace
episode,
lanes.
hyperspace lanes.
Hyperspace
But he does say he's like, don't worry, I'll outrace him. I got some maneuvers, and then he just lists lazily to the left.
Yeah, his maneuver is.
They run-
I'm not gonna put on my turn signal. I'm gonna turn left.
Exactly.
I
We'll
think
never
he-
see that coming.
I'm almost
Fuckers. I
positive
drive
it's
New Jersey.
at this part, but I always thought that Anakin was the first person to say this is where the fun begins. But Han says it in this scene as they're escaping Tatooine.
Holy shit!
I know.
Wow, great, good stuff.
Fun facts.
So
They shoot into hyperspace. And we're going to cut to the Empire. So, the Empire wants to make a demonstration because Princess Leia won't tell them where the rebel base is. And they're like,
good. She's not a fucking narc.
you're right, she's not a fucking
Her
narc.
street cred with her people on Alderaan is gonna be massive.
But her not being a narc has consequences, damn it.
Yeah. She sends in the
Are you,
dancer.
hold on. Are you taking a soapbox out for narking on people?
Well, in this very moment, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Proceed.
So, because she doesn't narc, the Empire's like, well, we gotta do something, man. So they blow up her home
Oh
planet.
shit! All the people she just got street cred with, they're dead now.
Yeah, they go,
That sucks.
That's
exactly what
that's
that
the
sounds
sound.
like.
And then
That is exactly
and then
what that sounds like.
they blow up Alderaan.
Yeah, it's a very focused. So the Death Star can do that.
And two dudes are standing on a little
Yeah,
scaffold
with no railing.
while this giant
Yeah.
space laser. They instantly have cancer. Like
Yeah.
that split second, they're like
Space cancer.
space cancer.
Which is the worst version of that. Yeah, those guys are fucked. So Alderaan has been
blowed up.
blowed up.
Yeah, totally destroyed.
Where the Millennium Falcon is currently
Coming out of hyperspace.
course for.
Right.
Come out of hyperspace, like, yikes.
There's Alderaan chunks
We
everywhere.
left the oven on. This isn't good. This planet doesn't exist anymore.
And then a TIE fighter flies by.
Yeah. Which they chase. It's like, it's fucking just a rogue TIE fighter. Because that
Yeah.
happens.
Right. We got
Yeah,
this.
that happens.
But it's
Looks like you must have gotten lost.
He must have gotten
part of a
lost.
convoy.
And meanwhile, Obi-Wan's just like, this is a terrible idea. But we're rolling with it.
They're heading for that small moon.
There's a giant moon off in the distance.
That's no moon.
There's no moon. And
That's
Harrison
a space
Ford's
station.
like, fuck this. What are we doing here? They
And
get
Luke,
closer.
Luke throws out the first one. I've got a bad feeling
Bad
about
feeling about
this.
Take a shot.
Where we take a shot. Clink.
Clink.
Yep, we've done it. We've taken a shot. We're cool. Death Star is pretty big. Seeing it up close in person for the first time. Not something you want to be near or sucked into.
No. But
But they get sucked into
they get sucked into it. Yeah.
by the tractor beam, which
Oh, and in the enhanced version, you could see the sign that says, "Please don't shoot a missile here, or we'll blow up." It's real
Okay,
obvious.
okay.
Yeah, they should take that down before the attack.
They probably should. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's
is it
like
a real thing?
no.
Okay, because there's already been like 3 things where I'm like, that sounds
Well, I mean,
stupid, but
they CGI'd a rock like over R2-D2 at one point, so
Yeah.
no,
they'll do
that
anything.
seems pointless. So they're fucked. They're going into the Death Star. Not good. That's where Vader is. That's where tens of thousands of stormtroopers probably are. Sounds like a terrible life, by the way. You just fucking float around this.
And
Death
they just
planet.
and they march a lot.
And all they
like
do
they
is
run
march.
from one side to the other as if they have any reason to do
Maybe
anything.
it's one of these drills. Like,
They must
just
be in
have
great
drills.
shape.
Mhm.
They can't shoot for shit.
We think they're on the second level and the third level. They might be on the first level. Let's run there.
What do they do for fun? Serve the Empire.
Well, they can't shoot womp rats in their
They
T16s.
can't. Only psychopaths do that, Mike.
Right.
That's
So-
crazy. So they're stuck, and everybody on the Death Star is like, yeah, we got this ship. We should probably... There's people on there, I'm sure.
Yeah, we should search it.
They search it.
But
There's no people on there.
Yep. Han, Chewie, Luke, Ben, R2, 3PO, all 6 of them. They hide in some little like drug container thing
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
in the floor.
Yeah, they're getting high as shit off
Yep.
that
Licking the spice off the walls.
Oh yeah.
Hamabuki
That's some
is
good
hiding
spice.
underneath. So they pop out and they're like, "Oh, I never thought I'd have to hide in here." It's like, great. That's a great quip you got there, Georgie. Like, I don't know. If I was in that situation, I would just be like, "Fuck, man! I'm just gonna turn
Set the
myself
ship
in."
to,
and plead
set the ship to
guilty.
self-destruct.
Yeah, maybe self-destruct. I don't know. They send a search team onto the Millennium Falcon to check it out.
But that search team don't come off.
The search team gets
You're pew pew.
fucked up,
Yeah,
steal their uniforms, which fit like a glove.
apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because Luke's appearance apparently is shorter than the average stormtrooper, but he fits in that uniform.
Right.
He looks fly as hell.
Yeah, I think the only problem he has is I can't see in this thing.
Yeah, which explains a lot about stormtroopers. So their game plan is like, all right, you two with the stormtrooper outfits, Han and Luke, you guys go find the princess. Droids, just fucking chill, just stay out of the way.
Yeah, they're like, stay in this room, and if we need help, you fucking do all the shit for us from
Obi-Wan's
this room.
like, I am gonna go turn off
The tractor
apparently
beam.
super manual tractor beam that's on this multi-trillion-dollar Death Station.
Correct.
I'm gonna go do that, which is in a cylinder in some fucking corridor that just anyone can access
Right.
and turn off.
And
So I'm gonna go do that. You guys,
And Ben looks at one map and knows exactly where it's at.
Yeah, he's like, it's right next to the hot topic.
Right.
yeah. And he gets a keychain wallet.
Beside the food court.
Yeah, he gets a keychain wallet. He gets a Cinnabon, and he turns off the
Yeah,
Trek beam.
exactly.
So his part's good. He's fine.
Right.
Saving the princess does not go.
Yeah,
Yes.
Luke has this brilliant idea. He goes to put binders on Chewie. Chewie's not having it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Ugh, don't imprison me, you fuck."
I've been through this.
Flashback, I got PTSD.
Yeah.
You fuck.
There's some mud at me, why don't you?
And so they get up to the detention level, and they say that they have Chewie as a prisoner. Level south of
Gross, man.
Master.
What's cell block?
2187.
7.
1138.
Oh my gosh, 1138. You're right. She's in cell 2187.
Yeah.
I'm fucking.
Cell block 1138.
Stupid
He fits
stick.
1138.
We're about to go off on another tangent.
That's lame.
That's all.
Scott here is my Star Wars Trivial Pursuit rival.
That's cool, man.
And so when he one-ups me, I'm not very happy about it.
Yeah. Mike is actually drilling a hot needle into his forearm right now. He's so upset.
He's tattooing
He's not even
1138
smiling
on his
because
forearm
he does
just
it
to
so
remember it.
often.
Never forget it again.
You will. You'll forget that.
He will.
So they get to the detention block. There's a bunch of stormtroopers there. They're like, "Oh, prison transfer. Well, news to me."
Yeah.
And then they just start blasting.
"Fuck it!"
Yeah. They show like 8 different shots of like a security camera getting blown up. It's just like they're like that's where all the budget went
Yeah.
in this movie was to just the security
All the
cameras
security
blowing
Yeah,
up.
these guys get lit up, and it's not fair, really, which is weird because that's 2 against like a battalion, and I know Luke's just doesn't shoot guns on the regular,
No.
so they do get Chewie in the mix. So whatever. This is great. This is Han just being Han when they call. Like,
What's going on down there?
He's like, I don't know, man. I've just been feeling really down lately, and I just need someone to talk to. Please help me. I'm so sorry. What was it? Your dad? And there's this whole deep scene, and none of that happens. And then and Han just fucking shoots.
Boring conversation, anyways.
We're fine. How are you? I love that.
Well,
line.
the guy calls in and he's like a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, first time,
What's
long
happening
time.
in that,
Hey, this is
detention
Pat
center?
from South Detention Center. First time, long time. Hey, what are you guys gonna do at Wentz this year, huh? Guy stinks. Boring conversation anyway.
I can't believe that there were Cowboys fans on the Death Star.
Well, then it's a good thing that it ultimately met.
Its demise, yeah. Luke, we're gonna have company!
Yeah, shit's getting thick pretty quick. Luke runs down, and after like 4 attempts, he finds Princess Leia, who's laying very sexually in her cell.
Under solid metal,
Which
it looks uncomfortable as all hell.
It doesn't look fun.
No pillow.
It doesn't look fun. No pillow. She's just laying on her arm.
And he references, "I'm here with Ben Kenobi," and she goes, "Ben Kenobi? Where is he?"
Oh, you mean
as
old
opposed
Ben
to,
Kenobi.
As opposed to, who the fuck's Ben
Yeah,
Kenobi?
that's
I-
not.
I wanted Obi-Wan
shit,
Kenobi.
That's the
Who's
wrong
this?
guy.
Yeah.
That's like you accidentally buying tickets to go to like a Tito Jackson concert
Right.
when you thought you were getting Mike. We talk about Michael Jackson a
lot.
on this podcast,
Quite a bit.
but not far off. So she's like, "All right, fuck it, yeah. I mean,
Okay, I'll go
I'm
with
just here, so let's roll."
You took your helmet off.
Stormtroopers are breaking in.
Yep. Meanwhile, fuck, now they're under mass fire. Leia's like, "Shit, I know that there's this chute right there that'll get us out of here."
Yeah, she takes over, like, she's the first strong woman in like, any, like, movie content, and so she has to take
Takes
control.
over and she hits almost everything she shoots at.
Yeah, she does.
So,
Leia is the
Yes.
most accurate. I
Yeah.
read a thing one time that if you
I-
took all of the main characters, Leia's hit percentage is better than anyone else.
I believe that.
Amidala's is second.
alright, so pod consensus, Princess Leia's a bad bitch.
Yep. And women
She's a
should
Disney
be
princess.
in more things.
She's a Disney princess, just like
Kylo Ren.
No, Moana.
Oh, what can I say?
You're welcome.
Okay, I thought you were gonna have my back more.
Stay away from the garbage chute.
Oh, they go into the water. He said there's no water in this
go into
movie.
the water.
They go into the water
The trash.
in the trash compactor.
Stay away from the garbage water.
Never go in the trash water. Never. I can attest that I worked at a country club for a long time, and I
Is this
taken the
important?
trash out one time,
Oh, okay.
and there was trash juice in it.
Trash
I got
juice is
some
the
on
worst,
myself.
yeah.
Oh, I've gotten covered in
That was
trash
the
juice
closest
before. It
I've ever been
sucks.
to myself.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's awful.
Yeah, I finished my shift that night.
And Luke gets sucked underneath.
Yeah.
Trash.
Why is the liquid so? Why is there so much of it?
I don't know. It looks like they're developing photos in there.
Yeah.
He's pulling out toys again.
So Luke,
Oh,
Jesus
yes.
Christ.
So what we're looking at here is Luke Skywalker as an action figure.
That's not even a toy.
And,
It's a green dick. What are you doing with
the
that?
Loch Ness Monster.
Why'd you bring that to the
Oh, and
podcast?
he's making the Loch Ness Monster.
Now he's giving like Dildo's doing a suplex on Luke Skywalker.
Man, there's so much going on off mic.
This is why we need to do a video and not just regular podcast.
Christ, no, for the good of humanity, we need to not do that.
use your imagination, people.
Oh, gross. The trash compactor scene is they like almost die. R2 saves the day.
But he thinks they're like cheering, and he thinks that they're dying.
Yeah, that's
and that's like the best part of it. He's like, "Oh no, what have I done?"
Curse my metal body! I wasn't fast enough.
And he pulls out a gun, but his arms they don't go that way, so he's got to live with the guilt for like 5 more seconds.
Can we rewind just like 30 seconds into the scene because Luke lets out another really whiny like dialogue. He's like, "3PO, where can he be?"
Love it. I love it. They do get out of there. Thank Christ. They are dry very quickly after that.
Yeah.
I have that note. Why are they clean?
They're clean.
Why are they clean?
Why? That's all it says is why are they clean?
Why are they clean?
Why are they clean? True. I mean, what the fuck?
And then right before that scene, when the droids get caught by the stormtroopers, the Jango Fett head bump occurs.
Oh, yeah, the stormtrooper hits
It does.
Yeah,
hits his head on
they
the.
had to retcon that crap
It's
too.
iconic.
No, they leave it in there.
No, but I mean they retconned it to make.
Oh, to make Django do it, which doesn't make any sense because the stormtroopers aren't clones anymore.
Well, maybe he was the last one.
Oh God.
Erroneous.
So
Good
we're
news, guys. We got the princess.
we're escaping
The Disney princess.
the Disney princess. Luke does a whole Tarzan swing with her on him.
That scene was painful to watch.
While Han is chasing 5,000 troopers because he shoots one.
He just yells down a hallway.
Yeah.
He's like, "I got this."
Yeah, that was bold by Han, but again, this is why he fucking rules. Meanwhile, Luke and Leia are running away. Like you said, there's 3 stormtroopers on a high. I don't understand the fucking layout of the Death Star. They're shooting at him. He shoots back. They lean. It goes on for like a minute.
And then they run away long enough for him to swing across instead of just pegging
He's
him.
like, wait, I have
Well,
this.
they got stopped at the Cinnabon, and Luke and Leia are trying to get out.
Blart Mall Cop got him up there.
Because Obi-Wan
What are you
was
doing?
in the front of the Cinnabon. He was like, oh, let's see. That's too many calories. Does the number 3 come with an extra roll?
Do I
He's
get a
like,
senior-
Jesus Christ, dude.
Do I get a senior discount?
Yeah, I have my punch card. Oh, it's in my other robe. Spartan old man, a Cinnabon. Terrible. He gets the tractor beam down, though, to his credit. It makes the same kind of sound as the lever that
I'm pretty sure it's the same
eventually
exact sound effect.
explodes Alderaan. And just sneaks by every stormtrooper there. The 2 guys are like, oh, I wonder if this is one of those other drills again. They love drills.
And they start talking about a new speeder that came out. And then
Yeah, something.
Ben makes somebody go, boop. And they're like, what was that?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, what is that?
There's a noise on this giant metal ship.
It's the water.
It's the water.
No. But they run off. Obi-Wan's just walking around. He's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's walking down a hallway, and then who walks around the corner?
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen comes and he's like, "I hate sand, and I hate you.
Nice.
Let's fight."
Except it's
That's
Darth
fine.
Vader.
It's
It is Darth Vader. It's James Earl
The
Jones.
scary form of Darth
Not
Vader.
in the suit, but the voice.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. I'm not even going to try to imitate that.
And he
Anyways.
says, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. And Kenobi goes, well, actually, you never were a master.
Fucking just
Yeah,
stabs at him one more
exactly.
time.
Take a seat.
Yeah, take a seat.
Yikes.
Master?
Man. It's fun when you draw it out. This is the big battle of the movie, if you want to call it that. It's
Oh,
not much.
yeah, it's-
I mean,
Tap,
They're-
screen, tap, tap.
Yeah,
It looks
it's
like,
very intense.
It looks like 2 old men fighting with swords.
With broomsticks.
That's what it looks like. So we have this like, psh, psh, ah.
And they, for some reason, edit like green flashes in.
Yeah, yeah, it was weird. Green so
flashes.
on their way back to the Millennium Falcon, they get a great break because they being, Luke, Han, Leia. Vader and Obi-Wan start to battle out, and that draws all the stormtroopers away from the Millennium Falcon, so they have a clean path, which they take. Obi-Wan sees Luke, and he's like, Yeah, he's gonna hate this, and I hate him, and this is gonna be awesome for me.
And
So he
Obi-Wan's thinking, I hope Qui-Gon was right.
Yeah. So he's just like, and just lets himself die.
And Vader's like, what the dang hell? He
What
goes,
in, what in Sam hell? He's just
Obi-Wan
like,
left himself wide open like when I waved my arm at Count Dooku.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
He just his robe falls.
He's got to
he-
step on the road.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
where'd this
There.
motherfucker go?
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's a streaker. He just ditched his cloak and ran off.
He's standing over saying, I got the high ground now, bitch.
Bitch.
If you strike me down, I will become more naked than you could possibly
So,
imagine.
He is dead. Oh, shit. Luke lets out like a mid-scale no.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's certainly not the
Like a
worst.
middle
No, it's
ground.
not the worst.
Yeah.
Middle ground. Obi-Wan's immediately a Force ghost.
Yep.
Right.
So run,
Bang,
Luke.
bang. Yeah, he tells Luke to
Run.
run.
So they get out of there.
Luke showed more emotion seeing Obi-Wan cut down and looking at his charcoal brigette aunt and uncle.
And again, he met this man.
I'm telling you, Owen
thing
beat
we know
Luke.
of-
He was happy. He just couldn't. He didn't know how to let those emotions out.
Leia's still cracking jokes about walking carpets 10 minutes after her whole planet shows up. These people are cold-blooded, man.
Yeah, you're messing
Cold-blooded.
with some fucking killers.
I just feel like death must be so regular in the Star Wars galaxy that no one gives
Yeah,
a
no one
fuck.
gives a shit when someone dies. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Had a good run.
So they get off the Death Star. The tractor beams down. They make their escape. I have to bring this up because it is truly, to me, the unsung hero of all the Star Wars songs. TIE Fighter chase, dude. Dun, 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 dun.
Here they come.
Yeah.
I have Here They
Dun,
Come.
dun,
Now,
dun,
it
dun.
is
You have
the
to cut
best.
it. Steve is going to cut it into this
I'm
episode.
not.
Dun, dun.
I'm not gonna do.
He's
that.
going to do it.
The
And if he
build-up.
doesn't, then I guess it's only going to be Annie and no Obi on this podcast.
Yeah. I'm getting a promotion.
That
Yeah.
was a loose threat.
I'm not losing them.
I don't know how to edit this together.
That whole thing. That whole thing builds up. You've got the music, dun, 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 underneath their dialogue, and then Leia says, "Here they come," and boom, and the TIE fighter.
Oh, it's so good. It's
amazing.
honestly like,
It's on par with the Imperial March.
don't get me wrong, the Death Star sequence when they're later in the movie is great, but the music here really makes this is one of the best action scenes in the film in my opinion.
Yes.
It's also the first real action scene in the movie. I mean, you've got
Yeah, that's true.
the TIE fighter strafing the Falcon.
Well,
and
I would say the first action space scene. There's a lot of action on the Death Star.
True.
So,
Yeah.
I meant space battle. I meant
but
space
yeah,
battle.
no, yeah,
It's a two-sided battle.
it's
Yeah.
he's. I
Not
think I
just
know
the
where
tainted
you're
getting
coming from
blown
here.
away.
You have exactly. In the beginning of the movie, it's two ships that is one is obviously outclassed. When the Falcon's leaving Tatooine, it's just escaping. There's no battle here. But yeah, now you're seeing actual TIE fighters, and I know they modeled it after old World War II movies.
Oh, the Japanese Zeros
Exactly.
zooming down
Yeah.
onto destroyers that were shooting back. Yep.
And
exactly
so
what
it
it
gives it that old school war vibe, and it really comes across
Luke
well.
becomes a man. He gets his first taste of
Blood.
human blood.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodlust is common.
Yeah, he says, "Yeah, I got
It
one."
was better than a womp rat.
He says,
I want more.
and then he does a blood out of his face.
Where'd he get it from?
C-3PO.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully,
His
he's
oil.
dead and he's bleeding for some reason. So they are back at the Rebel base, which is on Mike, not Dantooine. It's not on.
No, it's not on Dantooine. It's on Yavin 4.
The fourth.
The fourth moon
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Yavin. Yeah.
And this is when they're like, this R2 unit's got the plans of the Death Star. We're
But
not
first, they
letting
get a
press.
speeding ticket from that radar gun
Yeah,
guy.
that's true.
Oh yeah.
That poor guy who's up 3,000 feet above the trees pointing a radar gun. I was like, they're going to look quick.
Hey, slow down! That's all he's got.
There's
You
a
in hurry?
I don't know why
Blue
I didn't.
Harvest has it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pick it up. I don't know how. I guess I just don't watch this movie as much as some of the other ones. But Princess Leia says oh, they'll track us here. Well, then why the fuck did you go back to the base?
Yeah. Not this ship, sister.
Yeah, she was immediately sure of that. She
Yeah.
was like, yeah, they're probably tracking us.
They let us go.
Yeah,
It's literally like Darth Vader's like, yes, we're tracking them. And she's like, yeah, they're probably tracking us.
but they go back anyway.
Okay.
And so the rebels are like, all right, let's do it.
I guess we're going to the Rebel base, where R2 has to take a nap because he's exhausted.
Right. But first he gives them the plans.
Post nap, It's a college classroom. There's just a bunch of chairs. Dude's ready to rock in their matching orange jumpsuits. And they get the least inspiring speech that has ever been given.
This is going to kill all of us.
It's like, it was delivered with such like, it was like, probably most of you are going to die right now, but there's a small vent on the top of the Death Star that if we hit it, perfectly, it should cause a chain reaction that'll make everything blow up.
And if you look at this schematic, the dish is in the middle of the equator of it, which isn't even real. So we're not sure.
Yeah.
If it's even the right schematics.
That's true. They were like the V1 plan.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow.
This plan has no chance.
Yep.
No, and then it makes me wonder, is Luke really Anakin's kid? Or is he Master? Is he his kid? Because Luke just totally jobs one of the other rebel pilots.
Yeah,
he's like, we can't do that. And Luke is just like,
impossible.
oh no, it's no bigger
Actually, it's
than a
extremely
womp rat.
possible.
And they cut the scene after that when that pilot goes, "Who the fuck are you?"
Who is this
Who the
guy?
hell is this guy? Anyway, all right, man. Let's get to it. You're mostly gonna die. This has no chance of working at all.
And the Death Star is going to be here in 30 minutes.
Cool.
So-
Snack time? No,
Yeah,
now we pretty
no.
much have to go.
So they go. They're like, all right, Luke,
You guys can have a
you've been with
10
us for all of
before you
5 minutes,
take
but you get an X-wing too.
Yep.
And then he gets the shining recommendation from Biggs, who
Yep.
We have no idea
We
who the hell
don't-
this
we've
guy
never met
is,
before.
But suddenly they
Biggs was
obviously...
right.
yeah,
Biggs was right.
Biggs was right.
Yeah.
And then Han's like, all right, got my money, got my Wookiee. Let's blow this thing and
And what
go
do you think
home.
Han's reward was? Because he was literally just stacking up boxes. Like, was it just like...
Credits
Home goods.
will do fine.
It was probably home goods.
Yeah,
Fruits.
it's like he's literally
Credits.
got boxes.
Will do fine.
Yeah, you think they just gave him boxes of money? Here's some boxes of money. Like, they have no email. There's no Venmo.
Well,
like, there's nothing.
this is
Like,
all-
it is that. Well, it is a long time ago.
This is all true.
But it could all be happening right now.
Now,
right now. God damn it. This is madness. It's gone too far.
what have they done?
Everybody gets lit up in the space battle. The Death Star literally pulls up. They put it in park. They're like, this is perfect.
What's the name of the fighter pilot who dies? Who's got the most?
Steve Buscemi.
No, he's got the worst
got crazy
name
eyes.
based
Porkins.
on.
Sergeant? I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
Porkins.
Rankings.
Porkins.
It's just Porkins. Porkins is a big chunky dude.
Just a big throwaway character.
He gets
Little to
He
no
gets-
importance, unless you're playing Star Wars Trivial Pursuit.
This is a tough subject for you guys, huh?
Yeah, Mike forgot his name. What can I tell you?
You forgot Porkins,
He
Steve?
wasn't ready.
I didn't,
His name was Robert Paulson.
his name was Robert Porkins.
Little Fight Club tie-in. Everybody's getting lit up.
They came from behind.
Gross.
No, that is exactly how that pilot delivers that line, though. When they're doing the first trench run, they came from.
How many trench
behind.
There's like what 3?
I think there's 2 or 3.
I'm still trying to figure out why would you take the time to zip around that trench? Why not just do what Han does at the end? Come in from above, straight down at the thing. Let's go in this little tiny trench, or let's fly around to where we think
Because-
that thing is and come in
Because they
from
didn't
attack.
discuss that in the
No,
planning room.
which is so bad.
I'm gonna try. I think that maybe the shot has to go in with some gravitational pull, and too far out, it's not going to go directly in. So that's why they have to scale along the trench.
So,
But that's complete
Nah,
speculation.
man, that sounds like
Because
your
they shoot it and it
nerd
goes.
speak.
Because they shoot it and it goes. Oh, whoop.
So the first guy does get it in the vent, and he's super.
Just
not the first
impacts
guy,
on
but
the
one of the guys gets
surface.
it in, and then, damn, I didn't make it down the 40-mile drive.
He's like, the sperm came out, but it didn't impregnate the egg.
Gross.
And then Vader hunts his ass down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Vader is
He
out
thinks
there.
he's flying away. He's like, oh, I missed. And then
There's a
Vader's like,
short
nope.
scene. Vader, like, he just taps 2 TIE pilots on the shoulders, like, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, he.
Ride or die, bitches.
Yeah, he's not fucking around. I respect that about Vader. He's not just hanging.
He takes
out
it into
and
his own
watching.
hands.
He's out there in the trenches with his boys. Luke, he's up.
Yeah, time for his attack run because there's no one left.
Everyone is dying at alarming rates. Han does come back, so clearly taking care of himself.
But Biggs
Not only
doesn't.
caring about- Biggs.
Yeah. Luke Biggs and Wedge all go into the trench.
Upset
And Luke is like, "Oh, well, Wedge, you're hit. Get out here. You can't do anything else." And Wedge is like, "Oh, fuck you, Luke." And he flies off.
Going home.
I'm going home. This is bullshit.
I'm going to Checkers.
my nephew's going to be Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So Luke's up, man.
Oh,
Got a
hold on.
targeting computer.
Oh, no. Turn that shit off. He don't need it.
Good.
Because he's got the
guy
Force. Oh.
from an old man that he met a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, use the Force.
Trust your feelings.
I feel like that's
Let
just
go,
like-
Luke.
I feel like that's a bad idea. It's a
I always,
targeting computer.
in, the Rogue Squadron video game, the first level is always Death Star, and, like, every pilot, like, Star Wars video game. And every time, like, they cut the dialogue in from the movie, they're like, "Luke, you switched over your targeting computer. What's wrong?" Well, there's a button for, like, your targeting computer, so I always just switch it back on before he goes, "Nothing, I'm all right."
Nothing, I'm good.
He's badass.
They can't stop me.
Nice.
I ruined all the continuity.
LucasArts is gonna sue you. For
They're coming after me.
Shit. Well, they're coming after it. We've infringed on so many of their like intellectual goods on the show. That's a self-incriminating statement that I'm leaving in because we're hardcore.
Yeah, they can't stop us. We're not even that popular yet.
So, old Ben has that words. There's words of wisdom there for Luke.
Right. You said Han Solo comes in and he shoots. He gets he draws the tail. He draws
He does.
Darth Vader
He
off
does.
Luke, giving him some time.
He's got a wide open lane.
Dun, 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 dun,
Luke is
dun,
Wayne
dun,
Allen with
dun, dun,
3 seconds
dun,
left in the game.
dun, dun,
It's that shot.
dun, dun.
Direct hit.
Let's blow this thing so we can all go home.
Boom.
Yeah, I want to start incorporating that into like regular conversation. Like if I ever want to leave because I never like being out of places, I'm just gonna be like, "All right, now let's blow this thing and go home."
What you could do too is what I always like to do at parties is do the Irish goodbye, which is where you just leave, and then when you get to the door, you turn around and say, "I'm Irish goodbying," and then you leave. It's a lot of fun.
I was gonna say, Scott's daughter and my girlfriend.
Those are not two different people, by the way.
They're not
And my friend.
right.
I won't
Rachel.
go that far.
That is a different person.
She's grand E. Anyways, she's the master of Irish goodbyes, and that's my favorite thing about her because then I can just leave too.
Nice. He got yelled at for not plugging her previously, so that's what that was.
And she also didn't get plugged at the beginning of the pod, and I think
Can
she's
we
like
stop,
sitting.
Can we stop talking about plugging my daughter? I'm really not happy.
She's right over there. She's in the room, guys.
Where she's at.
This is gonna be really awkward for the listeners.
Gross.
It's
The
really
Death
awkward
Star
for me.
explodes. So the Death Star is blowing up. Just
Wait, I'm not
this
done
podcast.
plugging Rachel.
You might be.
I think he's got a gun. I can see it
He does have a gun.
under the table. The Death Star explodes, and then everyone dies on it, and Tarkin dies, and the stormtroopers and their families that live there.
And the
die.
contractors that are just trying to eke out a living. Luke's a prick.
The contractors that were working on that scaffold that was
Yeah.
in the Death
Oh
Star
my
laser.
god. Does that mean the Cinnabon workers are gone too?
Cinnabon's
Cinnabon's
gone.
dead?
They punched their last card?
Annie Ann's done.
What if the Cinnabon cream just created like?
That's
Ring.
where
That's
the
that ring that
extra
comes
ring.
out.
I'm glad you made that connection too. So yeah, the extra ring of the explosion is definitely from the Cinnabon.
A delicious ring of Cinnabon cream.
And now there's this
Super
giant cloud of radioactive waste right above the rebel base.
Yeah, no biggie.
Just like Endor. You know.
Yeah, I gotta think that debris is all going somewhere too. So not gonna be great for Yavin.
No, I think Yavin's a gaseous planet,
Okay,
but the moons aren't. So
Kane Schwartz. All right. This is great, man. The Death Star is blown up.
Yeah.
Everything. We're done.
yeah, Darth Vader's not dead, but
We're done here.
The
Darth
movie's
Vader
over.
Gets like he slips on a banana and just spins out of control off in like the distance, and that's the
yeah.
last we see.
How long do you think he's spinning out there?
An hour.
Weeks? Months?
An hour.
Okay.
I don't know.
Who picks him up?
Yeah, I don't know. Not that
There's
actually, because she's dead.
Not that many.
I don't know. I don't know. Try the math through, kid. Psych. He's dead.
He's dead too.
They're all dead.
All of Anakin's friends are dead.
No. Except for Ketster, maybe. He's
Oh
pissed.
my
What if he...
god.
And then they reconnect. That's a beautiful scene.
Kidster, that was totally wizard that you could pick me up outside of Yavin.
Yeah.
Thanks for the ride back to the Empire.
You know, big scene. Everybody's cleaned up.
Huge. I don't know how much time passes.
Han he buttons his top button on his
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah, he's cleaned up very well.
Let's give out medals to
his boxes of
everybody.
money are in his...
Except for Chewbacca.
Chewie doesn't get
yeah, Chewbacca he's just a walking carpet, so he doesn't
He
qualify
doesn't get
for a medal,
for
apparently.
another 40 years.
Only real pilots, no co-pilots,
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah.
He finally gets one because Maz Kanata pries it out of Leia's cold dead hands.
Oh,
Here, boyfriend.
yeah. Man, that is kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be part of, like, the rebel effort and not get recognized at all for it.
Ever.
Like,
Nope.
ever. That's kind of fucked. And then we get... And that's Star Wars, 1997.
And that was a
77.
completely self-contained. It didn't need... You know, there was never... Lucas didn't really think he'd have sequels. He didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah. Well,
And,
because I understand that nobody, like, expected that movie to be a success, right?
Nope.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be a box office flop.
A lot of people got fucked out of, like, royalties because they agreed to, like, more money up
Oh,
front.
yeah.
Right.
Dumbass.
It's
I think Harrison
crazy.
Ford agreed to do carpentry, like, on the ship. That
Oh,
was like...
Jesus.
Because he was doing carpentry
Yeah.
in Lucas's office. That's how we got
Wow.
cast.
Yeah, none of them...
That's where he got the gloves.
Yeah.
Working on
He was in
himself.
American Graffiti, and that's
Yeah.
why he knew him.
So this is the sequel, technically, to American Graffiti.
Right. American Graffiti, too.
Galactic Graffiti.
They're kind of the same,
Yeah.
I guess. They're vehicles in both.
Yes. But yeah,
No
they...
Richard Dreyfuss. Thank God.
I think without John Williams' score, and there, I don't have the three names of the people who edited the film, but apparently there was just so much. I mean, they didn't have to cut the scene with Biggs, but everything else they cut together to make sure. Yeah, that guy. To make sure that the film was good, and man, did it blow people away.
Boy, was it.
Yeah.
And to the point of it stayed uptown in Center City, Philly for over a year.
Give the audience some reference. How
So,
long is that
yeah,
compared
we
to
don't
other
know
movies?
the-
Oh well, most movies back then, it'd be up in the Center City theaters for 3 months, 4 months, because obviously it didn't go anywhere. It couldn't go to VCRs or anything. So once they got out of Center
That's
City,
an old medium for playing movies, by the way.
thanks
Right.
for that. And
Sometimes they were.
then they'd wind up moving to the downtown theaters. And it actually was up there for over a year because I do remember seeing in the Philadelphia newspaper they had a birthday cake covered with all the Star Wars action figures.
I knew there was a
celebrating
reason
That's
people.
right.
1 year,
Yeah.
1 year in the movies.
I can see that the R2-D2 from here, I can see it's got a cake.
Because back
stand on
then, if you didn't see it in the movies, your only next option was eventually it would come to television.
it. Ugh.
But before it came to TV, we had the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, we are going to do an episode.
Yeah.
on it.
So
I've never seen it.
we
I've
have
heard that it's just the worst.
I'm a large, huge, very big Star Wars fan. Haven't seen it yet, so we're both going in with fresh
Yeah.
eyes at some point.
yeah, that's
People can
gonna
look
be-
forward to that future
We
content.
should watch that live.
We should watch it live. That's a great idea.
like
Maybe
Mystery
when
Science
we
Theater.
Yeah.
maybe when we do a stream one of these days.
So this movie basically changed the game for sci-fi. Made it I guess made it a mainstream viable genre for movies.
Because that's when it all started coming out. Then after this, you get Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You
Right.
get Alien.
When this came out, was this was immediately like a smash hit, right? This wasn't like a couple years went by.
No.
And everybody loved it.
No, it was huge. It was huge. I mean, everybody who went to see it and went to see it multiple times, obviously, to keep it in a
Right.
mainline movie theater.
Right.
No,
every year.
this came out after Jaws, and
Jaws
it,
was 76,
it broke
right?
Jaws's box office record. How long was like
There's less teeth in this movie
Less.
than Jaws.
extremely less? But how long was Jaws Did Jaws stay in theaters for a year?
Not that long, no.
I mean,
No, it was unheard of.
I've
for
heard
that.
some places ran it for more than 2 years,
Oh, and then
like
they
leading up
then
to-
they re-released it in the theaters again.
leading up to Empire.
Yes. Yeah, when Empire came out 3 years later.
So, Mike, we got a couple big hitters we haven't touched on yet here.
Yeah, I think so. We have the first episode in each trilogy has 3 repetitive themes. This is for The Phantom Menace, A New Hope, The Force Awakens. They all have the beginning of a hero's journey, the death of a mentor, and the destruction of a giant ball.
Yeah, Not Dr. Ball.
Not Dr.
Not
Ball.
Dr. Ball.
Although he did die on the Death Star.
That's true.
There's a lot of ball.
There's a lot of balls on the Death
Ball
Star.
mashing.
And really, like, you know, obviously, I think they're meant to mirror this movie. Do you think the other movies, like The Phantom Menace and The Force Awakens, do you think they suffer from following any of these tropes? Or do you think it makes it better? Do you think
Yeah, I do.
you think that it, like, enhances the experience?
I don't know. No, I mean, it's hard to compare The Phantom Menace in my mind, but, like, The Force Awakens, I really like that movie a lot, but the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this feels like an updated version of A New Hope.
A reboot.
Like a
And
soft reboot?
Like a soft reboot that had, like, a couple of the same points that just works some details around.
Right.
And
Death
that was
of a
hard for me to
mentor.
get past.
Who are you considering Death of a Mentor?
Han, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he really Rey's mentor? I mean,
He
was gonna
plays
give
as
her
big of a
job.
role as Ben does.
Ben
So
does. Yeah,
it's
that's fair.
And it's, I mean, Qui-Gon, I would say, plays the
Qui-Gon
biggest mentor
definitely,
role.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's like, I think that Han's death adds a lot of gravity.
Yeah.
I think the Star Killer base is just like, dude,
It's a
again.
shitty, like,
Yeah.
But it's also like, would I be saying, dude, again, if they didn't do it in the Phantom Menace with the Trade Federation ship?
But at least the Trade Federation ship wasn't blowing up planets.
Yeah.
It was just
That's
controlling
true.
the
And I
robots.
think
It
there's
was
even-
controlling the droids.
I think there's even a point in Force Awakens where they're like, it's just like the Death Star.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Han says that. It's
yeah.
like, so it's bigger. We'll blow it up.
it's like, all right, we get it. You do this and you
A
blow
lot.
it up. And
Yeah.
We all go
yeah.
home.
I mean, I
We'll
don't
blow
know.
this thing so we can all go home.
Like I said, I liked Force Awakens a lot. It didn't, like, ruin the movie for me, but it definitely, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more. I don't know. It's hard.
It's not a bad movie. I'm not trying to shit on it. I'm just saying it's like these are repetitive, like
It's just
repeated
like-
themes.
it's
So
like, you're right. It's the same kind of. Those 3 points that you put in there, I think, are pretty good. That, I mean, they both follow, even a little bit. So in the Phantom Menace. Who was Watto, by the way? Who's the Phantom Menace?
Watto was the Phantom Menace. Right. Learned that on
Episode 1.
Jeopardy. Oh.
Little Orphan Annie.
I have probably an unpopular opinion about this movie. I just want to.
prefer.
Well, I just want to.
boxers.
I just want to. Yeah.
I knew it.
I would say of all of the films, this is the one I watch the least. Not because it's bad, but I just care so much more about the other things that Star Wars has to offer in terms of, like, I really like the Jedi. This barely touches on the
Correct.
Jedi. So I find myself, I rewatch the movies all the time, but I'd be lying if I said I put on A New Hope every time I went through. I think maybe I'd watch it so many times when I was a kid that it's just like,
Yeah.
I think it depends on what you like about Star Wars, but it's like, this is one of those that for me, like, I just don't watch it nearly as much.
It's funny because when I rewatched it today, it's probably, I don't know, the 100th time I've seen that movie.
I would say
in
this is my
life.
least watched Star Wars film,
Yeah.
and it's the original.
And I enjoyed it as much watching it today, knowing exactly what was going to happen, as when I was a kid.
So basically,
Except for the fact that Han didn't shoot first. Because
suck lemons, bud. Basically, is what he's saying.
no,
All right.
you're entitled to your opinion.
I just didn't know if it was like,
That's
is
what
it
I'm
weird?
saying.
Like, is it weird that I feel that way? That
I
I'm
don't
like,
think so. I can't tell you how many times I've started to go through the whole thing and muscled through the first 2 and then made it to 3 and then just kind of like
stopped.
continued.
See, 4 is one, though, like, for so many of them, especially in the prequels, especially anytime it's just Anakin and Padme, I'm hitting fast forward.
Kill me.
Like, I'm just fast forwarding through that crap quick. There's nothing in this one I fast forward through, ever.
Yeah,
This movie
it's
is awesome.
it definitely
I
like
watch this on Christmas Eve for some reason before I go to
It's a
bed.
wonderful galaxy.
It is. It's
it holds up. I mean, it's a great film. I definitely doesn't take away from it the fact that I don't watch it as much.
No,
I just
there's nothing wrong
I just
with
don't
that.
think it's like the things that I like about Star Wars aren't heavily prevalent in this movie.
But the amazing thing is to think that that was the movie that has launched.
That's the thing. That's what, like,
50 years
I almost
later,
feel like I'm
almost,
like,
yeah.
oh, am I like a hypocrite for like not liking this movie as much as like the other ones? But like without this movie, none of that stuff would exist.
Exactly.
No, you're a hypocrite because you wore fake glasses in younger years. Now you have them.
Yeah, how the
Actually, karma.
turntables.
The kind with glass lenses that were prescription to look cool.
Anyways, Does any other movie, the first movie of any trilogy, do it better?
No.
I think it obviously resounding no.
No.
Phantom Menace is
by unanimous decision.
yeah, pretty crazy.
Decision.
Force Awakens is good, but
Yeah.
it's just like this one. It doesn't raise too many questions. It answers a lot of the ones that it does. So you got
This movie literally could have stood on its own.
right. You didn't need a sequel, but I'm glad that they.
We're not
Man, I'm glad they made one.
We're not going to talk about the Phantom Menace really probably ever again, thankfully.
Are you sure?
We will.
Yeah, I'm sure. We will.
Nah.
All right, and since we have a guest on,
Oh,
we got some
our first
some
guest.
fan questions. You got them in advance.
Hold on,
So
I
I
have
hope
some
you-
special fan music.
Oh,
All right.
we're dancing to the special fan music that's not playing right now. So hopefully you thought about them a little bit, but we did this with Siebes in the first episode, so I'm interested to hear what you have to
My answer
say.
was feces for all.
Yeah.
No
Sure.
pressure. The
So-
bar is
So-
just
Pretty
couldn't
low.
be lower.
Yeah.
What's your favorite aspect like of the universe? Like what faction of people do you find yourself like gravitating towards, like their stories more? Like do you
The
like-
Jawas.
the Jawas,
The
the
Jawas,
trash
straight up.
dealers?
The I can't even narrow it down to just one because it's built into such a juggernaut, and how when you, and I know you've plugged it, so I'm going to plug it. You gotta watch the Clone Wars. You gotta watch the Clone Wars if you want to connect a billion dots in this universe, and then
I'm
Rebels.
fucking working on it, man. Okay. Jesus.
Clone Wars and Rebels
A busy
connects
guy.
so many dots that just, and back when the expanded universe was a real thing, I read probably 30 of the books from Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Courtship of Princess Leia, all that stuff that really broadened all these characters. And it's really funny to see how some of them are now getting integrated, like Thrawn.
Right,
You know,
characters are
Thrawn-
being referenced.
Thrawn
and
was in the
Yeah.
first trilogy.
This is a deep cut.
Siebes doesn't
Yeah.
know who Thrawn is, but
I've seen a picture of the book that he's talking about.
yeah, he's a great character and he's introduced in Rebels, but
He was introduced 35 years
exactly
ago.
into the
in
first three.
trilogy.
Yeah, it was like 3 books that had come out after the movies had
That
finished.
literally
the
could
first.
have been filmed and been episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
Nerds. That's why we're here.
So yeah, I think my favorite aspect of the universe is that the universe is so all-encompassing.
that it's ever expanding.
Exactly. So that would be it.
All right.
Good, good.
What is your earliest Star Wars memory? I think we touched on this a little bit already.
Nailed it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
my earliest Star Wars memory is the existence of Star Wars. I mean, my first memory,
That's pretty cool.
no one else knew Star Wars, except Stephen Colbert claims he saw it a week before other people did because he got some preview tickets. So he claims he's one of the first people ever to have seen Star Wars. And
We're gonna have to get him on.
okay, yeah, can we get him on another episode?
Steve?
But yeah, I mean, my early Star Wars memory is going to see it at 9 years old and having no idea what it was.
That's pretty cool. I wish that was my experience instead of the Phantom Menace. Here we are.
I watched the original trilogy on Laserdisc before VHS.
Laserdisc.
All right.
I still had them on VHS downstairs.
Oh my god! Again, that is an old medium that you could. Play.
Yeah, we don't know what Gen Zers know and don't know. We got some young
Really
listeners. They shouldn't be too young.
Sometimes they were orange. The tapes.
Sometimes.
But
True.
they
If
were
Nickelodeon
usually
put out a movie, they were orange tapes.
Thornberry's movie was orange.
Yeah. I'm sure the Rugrats one was too. And
Eliza.
who was your favorite character?
In Star Wars, not the Wild Thorn.
Yeah, not the Wild
And then
Thornberrys.
Thornberrys, okay.
Because it's Nigel Thornberry.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
him or
one
Donnie.
better.
Like, you had to pick one.
From the one I liked first, the one I wanted to be, the one I played when we role played was Han Solo.
Yeah.
I
Suck
never
it. was
understand
not-
the obsession
Luke-
with Han Solo.
Luke annoyed me.
Luke is annoying.
Han was the
That's right.
shoot first, throw money at the bartender, cool guy who's got this beat up shit that does everything, and
He's got a
Yeah.
Wookiee for a friend.
and then he continued his epic coolness.
Also, he's a criminal, and that's cool.
He crimed.
Yeah, he did crime.
And I think that's just because it's Harrison Ford. I just saw a interview with Harrison Ford where Jimmy Fallon said, did you get all emotional when you put on Han's costume again?" And he looked at me and goes, "No, I got paid." I'm like,
Fucking A, man.
yeah. So that's Harrison Ford, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who'd be like, "You fucking nerds."
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. See, I think that's why I like Han, because that's how I would be on the set, even though I love it.
Mhm.
And
That's a
lastly,
good answer.
what is your favorite piece of Star Wars content? Now, this can be like anything, expanded universe. Like, what do you think has left like the most lasting impact on you? Something that you constantly find yourself going back to.
The Star Wars Holiday Special. I think that would be the greatest thing
Life Day.
ever made. Life Day for Chewbacca and his
Doesn't he
son,
watch like a porn?
Lumpy.
Or something?
And Chewie's son, Lumpy.
And that,
Chewie's son, Lumpy, sounds like a lumpy
pretty
in his
Chewie.
pants.
Lumpy.
too.
But Chewbacca doesn't wear pants, so
But,
I think just
um,
dangling.
Bandoliers.
I would say the expanded universe. Like I really think the early books were some of the best stuff because it, just like the Clone Wars, which you should watch, connected all these dots and just fleshed out everything from early on. Weird stuff too because you had Splinter of the Mind's Eye came out before Empire was thought of, and it continued the romance between Luke and Leia
Before
you found out that. So
Whoops.
So, do you think? I really don't care for the expanded universe as a lot of other Star Wars fans do. I know it's beloved by some people.
I think that's just a generational thing
Okay.
because it was the first stuff we had.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, do you think Disney's acquisition of it and casting out the expanded universe is a mistake, or do you think it's like?
I think it'll only be a mistake if they don't continue to pull stuff in.
Okay.
There's so much stuff that they could still pull into all the stuff they're working on.
And not affect the movies that they've already made.
Not affect the movies. It can be in the Kenobi series. It could be in the Mandalorian. There's a lot of pieces they brought in. If there's another season of Rebels, like who knows? Whatever else they're going to do, if they can pull some of the stronger stuff out of the expanded universe, I think that'd be great. Because then it pays homage to all of it.
Right. There's a lot of creators that have added to the zeitgeist that is Star
Timothy
Wars. So
Zahn and like some of the writers did some phenomenal stuff that to be told, no, well, that's legends now. Like,
right.
Get out of here.
yeah, exactly.
I think that's what I did.
Canon only.
That's a good answer. I also peeked at your notes and I saw the EU and I thought you meant the European
European Union, they're my favorite part.
I did not know that was a result of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right.
Well,
Well,
shit, man.
hold on. Let's not forget to rank this movie.
No. Okay. You first.
All right. I give it 4 moisture evaporators out of 5.
I was just going to stare at you for a long time. I was trying to think of something funny to say. I think 4 is fair. 4.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is this vent here? Vents.
Trash compactor vents.
No, the Death Star exploding vent.
Oh.
Because
Any
I
event.
am sentimental about it, and even though I know it is far from perfect, to me it is still perfect. So I'm going to give it 5 burnt Owen Lars, the highest praise I could give it.
Fucked.
He's a burnt, charred skeleton.
Yeah,
I think it's like the most gruesome Star Wars has gotten,
Really,
other than
it's
Anakin
horrific.
catching on fire in front of him.
I mean, they were
pretty horrific.
still smoking. It wasn't even
Yeah,
that. It was
Jesus
like
Christ.
he'd been there.
like there's flesh on
literally-
those skeletons.
Literally, the troopers are like over the next dune.
They made it like out of their home and then just burned to death like on the fucking front step.
Now I understand.
Oh no.
Contains tobacco depictions. It was them. That's what the smoking was.
Yeah, they
Owen and Guru were briquettes.
their final thoughts had to be like
Ow.
Ow. Ouch, this hurts.
and blackness.
There's going to be hell to pay.
No, they're dead.
Boy, was
There
there.
was.
Well, that wraps it up for
Sorry.
A New Hope.
Thank you,
Scott,
gentlemen.
Thanks for joining us,
First
Papa.
guest.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So,
So what's next, boys?
yeah, next we'll be diving into.
Phantom Menace again.
Yeah, do it again.
There
Right.
yeah, that was it. There's no other
We're
Star
gonna
Wars movies, so
review
we're just
the
gonna keep going
3D
back
version
of the Phantom Menace.
which
Yeah.
is the same, but we're gonna talk in 3D.
yeah,
Talking 3D.
yeah. It's you can see my bad breath coming at you.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm used to
This
that.
is why I sit on the other side of the table.
So, anyways, we'll be diving into The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
Probably
The best.
critically, like, the best Star Wars film
Yeah.
ever
Fucking
made.
right.
It's
I'm so excited.
I would give that 5 burnt Owens and a side of Baru.
And a lightly charred Baru on the side.
yeah, very excited to bring that to you guys. Hopefully we fixed our technical difficulties. Thank you for
Oh, we're cash money, baby. Shout out to Blue Yeti.
yeah, thank you Blue Yeti for hooking
Blue
us up with
Wampa.
them new mics. And by hooking us up with them new mics, I mean thanks for
You're
having them in
welcome.
stock.
You get paid for them with USD.
Thank you for letting me buy your mics off
Yeah.
you.
Shouts out to Yeti, not Wampa. I just
Blue Wampa.
Joke. Whatever. All right.
This has been Annie, Are You Okay?
Are you okay?
Follow us at Annie, the letters Are You Okay Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye there.